Hi everybody, welcome back. I thought I'd do a budget beauty buys, and this actually covers everything from some great skincare, foundations, some brushes, some microneedling patches, even to fragrances. And I've tried to bring them all in under £20. And I'm passionate about budget skincare and budget beauty. And I love the fact that so many brilliant technologies trickle down onto the high street. So let's dive straight in. Let's start with, without a doubt, the best mascara launch of the summer. This is the reworking of L'Oreal Lash Paradise. It's the absolute best-selling Va-Va-Voom one coat complete full-on lash mascara, and it now comes in an intense black, which is even darker and glossier, and I really love it. Honestly, it's flawless. It's that classic absolute chunky brush mascara, but it being L'Oreal Paris, as opposed to the sister brands like Lancome and Armani, for example, when the brush comes out, it's not automatically overloaded with product. And I've said this before, I think it's really interesting. I always say high street mascaras are without a doubt the best. L'Oreal do amazing ones, Max Factor do amazing ones, Rimmel do amazing ones. The difference is that I think you get less juice. I don't actually think that the container or the brushes are that different. You choose the brush you want, whether you want a bendy one or you want a classic fir tree, kind of Christmas tree one, or whether you want a combing one. That doesn't make any difference. I mean, it does to the effect you want on your lashes, whether you want a subtle look or a stripper look, as I love. I'm convinced that the only difference between expensive mascaras and cheaper ones is how much juice you get. So these do tend to run out more quickly. I would say probably within about 3 to 4 months, whereas an expensive one can last up to 6 months. However, here's the thing. Expensive ones, I think, take a while to break in. They overload the brush. I've tried one recently that should remain nameless from a really beautiful company whose products I absolutely love. And I was having to wipe it off before I actually put it on my lashes. And when I looked at them, I had to get sort of, a spoolie and go through them and clean them off. You don't need to do that with this. One coat, completely brilliant lashes for summer. Not smudgeable in my experience, and you're out. So talking about technology filtering down within groups, say for example Lancome to L'Oreal Paris, what about across? Do you remember when Maybelline launched their Superstay ink crayons, the matte twist up lip pencils? Here's a perfect case in point, not my particular shade, but they're absolutely brilliant. And it's a technology that came across from America, although interestingly enough, most lip products are made in Germany. Anyway, the technology has come across to L'Oreal Paris, and I think it's essentially the same product. It even smells the same. Vanilla. Not a smell I particularly like, but actually it's a signature L'Oreal group smell in most of their lip products. So Lancome and L'Oreal Paris lipsticks all smell really similar. Anyway, today I've got on Lavender Honey, which is again a twist up product, absolutely brilliant. I don't like a matte lip finish, sign of my age obviously, but obviously it will create that Kylie Jenner completely matte lip if you want it. Beautifully pigmented, really lightweight, not remotely drying on your lips. What I do is I use it all over to give myself perfect definition and then go in with a gloss on the top. And actually I've got a Lancome gloss on the top of this. Anyway, they're absolutely brilliant. I really like them. They come in 16 shades. There's a really nice range for summer, something to suit everybody. Easy to use, twist open, twist up, great products. But I do like the Lavender Honey. It's that really perfect sort of slightly matte NARS boy brown, almost kind of my lips but better colour. I really like it. Let's move on to skincare. I was just literally filing a piece of copy this morning for the Saturday Times, who I write for regularly. Thank you, Nicola Giel. Thank you, Leslie Thomas, who commissioned me, especially when the normal beauty director is away. That's lovely Leslie Thomas, who I'm desperate to get in here and film with. You'll adore her. She's amazing. And it got me thinking about what products you could use to make the most of your eyes now that we're going to all be wearing masks for the foreseeable future. So I was looking at brow products and eye products and talking about my signature really easy idiot proof eyeliner that I've talked about here before. And I started thinking about micro needling patches because I was writing about the Vichy ones. And you know what? It's so funny. I'd forgotten how good Vice Versa was. Vice Versa is basically a high street micro needling patch company, and you need to check it out. So I've got two here. I've got the, let's start with the pimple reverser. So the pimple reverser are tiny little micro patches that you put onto a skin, and the active ingredients are infused into the tiny micro needles. And by micro needles, I don't mean they're metallic, they're hyaluronic acid based little pinprick infused with active ingredients. And the spot ones have salicylic acid, green tea extracts, and toterol, which is a proprietary anti-inflammatory. And they're really good, they really work. If you get one of those really painful ones, I was talking with Anjali Marto on a live on Instagram, and I realised I need to find a way to edit my Instagram lives, which are this format, into a long format. So basically cut us and put us side by side, and put all my Instagram lives up here, because I've had brand founders and dermatologists, they've been dentists, they've been absolutely amazing all through lockdown, because it's a way of me creating content live with people. Anyway, she was saying that if you get one of those really painful lumps, it's really hard to treat topically. I'm not saying that this would get rid of those painful lumps, but because it's actually the surface is puncturing through the dead skin cells, it will deliver the active ingredients more deeply, and they're more reasonably priced. So this is £10 for 4 patches. And they also do ones, and hence the fact I was thinking about it, for people like me who've got these lines here, which are really hard to target. Yes, you can temporarily plump them with the sort of normal microgel cloth masks, but actually what you can do also is you can get little patches that you put on that have micro needles of hyaluronic acid to deliver them overnight while you sleep. And this one has hyaluronic acid, collagen and peptides in. Suss them out if you're thinking about using them. There's also a theory that the mere act of using something that breaks through the surface of the skin in a completely hygienic way, by the way, because you put them onto freshly clean skin at night and you leave them on, it makes complete sense that the act of piercing the surface of the skin will in the long term boost the collagen and elastin production within the skin, because the skin sees it as a micro tear. Anyway, the reason I'm giving them a shout out is because when I did my research this morning for my feature, God, it's hot in here today. It's not sunny, but it's really humid. I realised they were really reasonably priced. I mean, I know £10 for 2 patches is a lot, but before a big event, they work really, really well. They work particularly well on skin like mine, which is fine and crepey. I mean, obviously, mine comes with the fact that I'm 58, but also it comes from the fact that I've had years of hay fever, and I have, I'm sorry, rubbed my eyes relentlessly. And when I spoke to Anjali, she mentioned about hay fever, and I just thought, you know, actually I don't feel so bad about my eyes now. I mean, yes, they are my weak point. They're the point I wear most of my concealer and my mattifying powder, and I use my skincare around. But actually it's because I've had hay fever for the better part of 40 years that they have aged faster than the rest of my face. Great skincare. I really like that range. Let's talk about something new from The Ordinary. How long have we waited for something new from The Ordinary? And it's an exciting one. It's 100% niacinamide powder. What is niacinamide? You know, don't you? It's vitamin B3, and it's been proven to help regulate sebum production. However, that's not all it does, trust me. You know that The Ordinary has a vitamin C powder, which is, again, water soluble. Ascorbic acid, L-ascorbic acid, vitamin C is highly unstable the minute you dilute it into water, or you dilute it into one of your serums or something like that. So you take it comes with a tiny little medicinal teaspoon, and you take a tiny amount in the bottom of the teaspoon for niacinamide. I think it's 1/3 of that tiny little scoop there. And you put it into water and you use it as a first homemade serum on your face morning and night if you've got oily skin, enlarged pores, shiny skin, breakouts. A really lovely little packaging. I really like it. Well, they have a vitamin C as well, which is where the technology comes from. The vitamin C, obviously, you can make freshly. Dr. Sabag one did one ages ago that cost an absolute fortune. You can make it fresh, you can put it in your daily serums, you can put it in anything that's water soluble, essentially, normally a hyaluronic acid based product. Anyway, so now they've launched the niacinamide, which I think is really interesting. It's their first, is it their first new product since Brandon died? I think it might be, which shows you what an incredible driving force he was at that company. Anyway, it's one to try if you have oily skin, if you have breakouts, if you have enlarged pores, if you get shiny breakthroughs. And you can add it to your Matrixyl, you can add it to your hyaluronic acid, you can add it to any water-based product, not an oil-based product, otherwise it will remain gritty. So you can use it with your Hada Labo, you can use it with hyaluronic acid, you could use it with a light water-based glycerin serum. If the the first ingredient on one of your lightweight watery serums is water. Try putting 1/3 of a teaspoon into that and you can turn it into a niacinamide serum morning and night. What is interesting about niacinamide is the research is coming out that it doesn't just work on oily, young, problematic skin. It also works on skin like mine because it's involved in the repair of the barrier function as well. And they think it might be involved in pigmentation production. This research came out of Procter & Gamble under the Olay group and was actually presented at one of the American dermatology conferences. So I have always said I think niacinamide should be in everybody's skincare routine. That's an easy way of doing it. So you literally just take 1/3 of that tiny little teaspoon, put the powder into your normal daily or nightly serums, and then you'll see how niacinamide can affect your skin. It's a vitamin B, so it's like vitamin C and vitamin A. I don't have a problem recommending it for skins because essentially what your skin doing is taking it in a stronger topical version of what it would be using internally. What else am I loving right now? Have you seen Eyes Lip Face recently? Ah, such a cool little brand. It used to just be available online, but I think it's available in Superdrug now. Have you seen these? I've been meaning to talk about these for ages. Eyes Lip Face is such a brilliant budget brand, it really is, and they're really reasonably priced. I mean, this is obviously the one that I like because I'm super conservative. So they've done a series of tiny little palettes. And it's very interesting, when I was doing my piece for the Times today, Nicola Gill said no palettes, and I totally get why she says no palettes, because you buy them and they look really glamorous and really gorgeous, and then you use, what, 3 or 4 shades out of them at the most, and you end up throwing the rest away because you're never going to use the high shimmer as much as the matte, you're never going to use the bright colours as much as the neutrals. Well, solve the problem like this. Yes, you can be interesting and exciting and use the green, but I suggest the ones you're actually going to be using are these really lovely little, they're just 4 shades, and look at that, that's perfect. So if you want that classic brick eye, which actually suits more people than you would imagine, I'll do a look with this and I'll show you, then that's all you need. So what you end up with is 2 mattes, 2 soft shimmers, and that's everything you need. And they cost absolutely nothing in comparison to those high-end palettes. Yes, I don't think the packaging will last that long, but you know what? Brick eyes are going to be over next year, so then you can move on to the next colourway. It could be blue, it could be green, it could be anything. This is a particularly nice one. So these here are, that's 2 soft shimmers, 2 mattes. So you've got a soft caramel. Look, they've got a whole collection. Go and have a look at them. They're really nice, but I do actually really love that blue to amp up from daytime to night. What I'm saying is they're so reasonably priced, how can you go wrong? Also, while you're there, and you have a look at Eyes Lip Face online, do have a look at these. Now, okay, so this is the problem with being my age, is you remember the original versions of these products when they originally came out. And if I show you that packaging, if you're under 45, you're probably going to go, oh, how chic, how cool, it's see-through. If you're over 45, you're going to go Shiomura. Do you remember when Shiomura did products just like this? They do a really lovely range of super chic, looks so much more expensive than this. I love the clear acrylic packaging, nude lips. Really, really, really lovely. In fact, not just nudes, all shades. So there you go. There's a nice bright pop of orange for summer, and a darker. They are the Seriously Satin lip colours. That's cider. This one is, she said, having broken it open, creme, which obviously I really like. They've got glosses as well. They've got... Go and have a look at them. And if you've got a teenager in your family that wants to start experimenting with makeup, you don't want to break the bank, I mean, they're just great products. I highly recommend Eyes Lip Face Elf if you have never seen them before. Other things that are interesting, and I've mentioned this before, but I want to give it another shout out. Please, anybody that has tried this brilliant Skin Paradise Serum Foundation BB Cream from L'Oreal, who is of a darker skin tone than myself, I want feedback on if it works. I love it. I saw on Superdrug's Instagram feed today that they had a beautiful British Asian woman using it. She was fairly dark, but I want to hear from black women out there, black guys out there, just any skin tone that's darker. Is it true that their 12 shades suit everybody? I'm skeptical, but it's such a great product, I want to believe them. And if it isn't true and they don't sort all shades, what I really want, because I was talking about this in an IGTV, is I want them to launch more shades because it is blooming gorgeous. And if you're wondering what foundation brush I'm using at the moment, I found a brilliant dupe. I discovered it from Lauren Pope on Instagram. I found a brilliant short-haired buffing dupe for my It Cosmetics one. It's not dual-ended, but it's absolutely brilliant. And it's the Zoeva, and I do love this pale colour as well. It's the Zoeva 104 Buffer, and it's beautiful. Goes really, really nicely. It's lovely for everything, but particularly nice for buffing in foundations and things like that. Heaven knows what I've got on that product, actually. Hopefully it's just that foundation. It's really, really good anyway. So there you go. That's my roundup of some nice, beautiful skincare, especially for summer. Niacinamide, obviously super important, but also for breaking out those little micro patches or for under eyes if you're wearing a mask, matte lips, and some eye palettes. And just again, this foundation, I do love it. I want it to be available in more shades, or I want some feedback from somebody who is darker than me. Does it work for you? And then finally, I'm going to end up on a note here. I remember when this originally launched in here, and it's an American company. It's called the Library of Fragrance. They're available at a couple of sites in the UK, but they're available on an EU site, and they are €5 each. And it's just the best little company. Just because they're €5, do not dismiss them. This is one of my favourites. I always have it behind me when I film, and I love to spray my room with it. And it's called Paperback, and it's the smell of vintage books. I know, I'm a freak. However, I'm starting the campaign here and now to get it back into the UK. And I tell you why, because just as I was looking at their site, their EU site, so it's called the Library of Fragrance.eu, and they will ship everywhere. They have fragrances like New Baby, which I think are really interesting, baby powder, pure soap, but they have Sunshine and Gin and Tonic. And you know what we could all do with, I mean, I'm filming this on a Friday, but you know what we could all do with in lockdown? More sunshine, more gin and tonic. They've also got Wet Garden, Salt Air. They have 300 fragrances that are not, I mean, they are brilliantly formulated to evoke the smell of something that we love, the memories associated with what we love. It could be something silly like bubblegum. It could be something that reminds you of your study years, like Paperback. But gin and tonic, sunshine, salt air, Wet Garden, bring it on. And they are €5. You can smell them, obviously, if you can get hold of them in store. I know if you go to places in the States, they're available widely. They used to be available in the UK. Please, if you're a beauty buyer, bring this brilliant company back. Otherwise, I guess for €5, you're not going to be able to smell it online, but you will obviously be able to take a bit of a punt at €5 and just choose some fun things. Gin and tonic, I have actually smelled. It smells amazing. And even though you might think to yourself, do I really want to smell of gin and tonic? Gin and tonic happens to smell of herbs and lemons, which is what I love about it. You might decide you might not want to smell of Paperback, but I have to say, I spray it in my office and I love the smell. I mean, who doesn't want to smell like salty air or sunshine? I mean, bring the Library of Fragrances back. Yes, the Library of Fragrance. I remember when it came over here originally about 15 years ago, and I can't remember which retailer they partnered with, but Superdrug, are you watching this? Come on. Bring them back into the UK. They're amazing. I think they're really good quality ingredients as well. They're colognes, obviously, because you would be really hard pushed to create a really great parfum or eau de parfum. But I think in the summer, if you just want to have some fun, how nice are they? Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon.